Who knows what crowdfunding is? Okay, that's great. So that's who. Just on the other side, who has no idea what crowdfunding is? Okay, just a few. I'll use a couple examples, but first kind of question is before you have something to sell, you have an idea in your head. We know how difficult it is to get the funding to turn that idea into an actual product. Before you get to Shopstar, before you can even get to Yoko to actually sell your stuff, you need to grow and you need to raise the funds to actually get you through that initial creative process. And that's where crowdfunding comes in. We've heard of retail shops selling stuff. But have you heard of pre-tail? So pre-tail is before retail. And post-retail is when you're going, oh my goodness, what did I just do? That's when you press that pay button and you can't recall it. But before you do that, you have pre-tail. Now, we know that area where you can't access funds from a bank because the bank says, give me a business plan. Do you have security? No, I don't have security. That's why I'm coming to the bank, so that I can borrow money to make the stuff so I can sell it and pay you back. The other side of it, when you say, look, I've got a fantastic idea, I've got this great range of stuff coming out. If you just invest in me, give me $100,000, I'll give you 20% of my company. You've all seen Dragon's Den. Yeah? What do you get? Dragon's Den, you get this marvelous thing where you have these guys with the big bucks. They sit there. And you've got to convince them. You know, the entrepreneurs, they always have this kind of slightly scared rabbit look in their eyes. And they're standing there and they're like, I've got a fantastic idea I'm going to tell you about. Give me 500,000 Rand and I'll give you 20% of my company and this is what it's going to do. These are my projections. And the guy sits there or the lady sits there and they go, you know what? I'll give you 500,000, but I want 50% of your company and I want 2 of your children. Yeah, no, I'm thinking of having kids at the moment and I'm just terrified of the thought. Actually, I am going to be having kids and I'm even more terrified of the thought now. Yes, my wife did tell me I could tell other people. Yeah, that moment in the first month and a half when you tell someone and you realize you shouldn't have. So that is equity is generally, you're in a very difficult position because you have no cash. You need the cash to make it happen, and the people sitting, the dragons there, they are dictating the terms. Now the crazy thing about Dragon's Den and investors is that the reason they charge so much and they drive such a hard deal is because they know, they work on the margin that 2 out of every 10 are going to be successful, 5 or 6 are going to do okay, and the others are going to fail miserably. So they're banking on the fact that there's only going to be 2 really successful guys out there. So what do? They do hard, fast deals. Now I'll ask you this question. If someone says to you, look, I'm going to decide whether I'm going to invest in you because I'm telling you, I'm really hot because I'm right 20% of the time. Does that sound like a reasonable kind of success rate to you? No. So what crowdfunding does is you're the guys facing the Dragon's Den and it says, no, hold on. Turn that chair around, face the audience, face the potential customers, and ask them if they think your idea is worthwhile and if they want to invest in you. Because at the end of the day, this dude sitting up here, he really doesn't know very much. The customers, the people you're going to be selling to, if you can convince them that they invest in you now and you're going to create this product and give it to them, that gives you a much better indication as to whether you're going to create things that's successful or not. And I'll ask you another question here. How often in your life have you spoken to someone about an awesome idea that you have in your head? I'm going to create this really great range of jewelry, and it's going to have these beautiful designs of that lady there, I forget her name, who does those cutouts with tiny little pencils. Anyway, and you go and they say, that's a fantastic idea. You know what, you do that, I've got at least 3 friends I know who I'll definitely buy them for gifts as. So you spend $100,000 getting the tools, putting the stuff together, create the first 50 stenciled out items, and then you say, great, okay, let's buy them. Oh, sorry, I don't have the money right now here. So So you've now spent $100,000 and you realize that actually, even though your friends said it was an awesome idea, when it comes down to it, they don't put the money on the table. And that sucks. What crowdfunding does is it says, you know what, I've got this fantastic idea for this design, for this t-shirt, or for this new pendant that I'm going to create. If you like it enough, here's a sample of what it's going to look like. It's going to cost $250 when I create it in 6 months' time. Will you be prepared to give me the money now, in essence, to pre-order it, pre-tail? That's what crowdfunding is. So crowdfunding allows you to raise money.
I'm almost there.
Okay.
Sorry, I don't have Microsoft products we use. I'm importing this presentation.
No, it's absolutely fine. I can speak from my piece of paper as well. Crowdfunding allows you to raise money for new ideas that you want to turn into products from many people. So you're not asking one person to give you $100,000. You're saying, and I'll give you, it's one of my favorite examples, and it's actually a campaign that we ran about 2 years ago for a group called Honest Chocolate. Who here likes chocolate? Okay, actually no one puts up the hand because they're like, we all like chocolate. So Honest Chocolate, they make chocolate. They wanted to open a chocolate cafe. They already make chocolate, but now they want to actually open a place where you can have chocolate pizzas, chocolate coffees, maybe even you just dip your finger and just lick the chocolate off. So they said, look, we either want to go to the bank, get a 100,000 Rand loan, and the bank said, look, we're not quite sure about this. They could also give away a percentage of the business. They said, no, hang on, let's go to Thundafund. On Thundafund, they put up a campaign. On the campaign, they have a video which talks a bit about what they do, just like the Shopstar video just now. Talks about what the business is about, why it's exciting for you to invest in them. Tells you a bit about their history, where they came from. They make chocolate, so they've got a good experience there. And then they said, if you give us 100 Rand, $100, everyone's got $100, we'll give you a virtual high five to say thanks, man, on Facebook. So basically it's a donation. If you give us 250 Rand, we'll give you 4 bars of chocolate. It's flipping awesome chocolate. If you give us 500 Rand, you'll get 8 bars of chocolate, you get invited to the launch when we go live, and you get 2 free chocolate coffees when you arrive in our new shop when it opens in 6 months' time. If you give us 1,000 Rand, you get 4 bars of chocolate, plus you get to come to attend a chocolate workshop in which you teach you how to make chocolate. And their favorite reward in my case, which I thought anyway, was for 5,000 Rand, you and 13 of your friends come in the door when we open the cafe. 13 of you pass through the door, we close the door behind you, we lock the door. For 3 hours, we feed you chocolate. And if you're still alive, you can walk out. They raised 67,000 Rand from over 70 people who all said, we love your idea. We want to support you. We're going to give you the money up front now. Here's the cash. When it opens, we're going to be your customers. So before it opens, we're going to be speaking to people about how cool this idea is that we've created. And when it opens, we're going to be buying stuff from you. The bank then said, hang on, we were going to think about maybe giving you 100,000, but we decided not to. But what they negotiated before they even started the campaign was that if they raised 50,000 through crowdfunding, the bank would give them the remaining 50. Why? Well, because for the bank, you've de-risked your loan. You've already got 50K. The bank goes, okay, they've got a reasonable product, so therefore we'll match your funds, basically. The next question is why on earth would you ever launch a product without asking your audience or your potential customers whether they think it's a good idea? You know, why would you spend $100,000 retooling, creating a whole range, 6 months of your life writing that whole book? Okay, 3 years of your life writing that whole book. Instead of actually saying to someone, you know what, here's the first chapter. Here's the first sample of what I'm going to be doing. Here's some ideas around the play that I'm going to be creating. If you like it, back us. You're asking the market whether they like an idea or not. Now that is, from your side as a potential producer of new ideas, all of us here in this room are creatives. So at any one time in your head, you might have 10 different really cool ideas. They might all be cool, but which ones are actually going to sell? Because at the end of the day, if it doesn't sell, then it looks great in your bedroom or in your lounge. But not necessarily is it going to actually allow you to carry on in your creative process. So that's a really cool thing to actually know. There we go. Crowdfunding, they're our creation. That's kind of a summary of everything we're talking about. So that is why crowdfunding is becoming almost not the de facto, but one of the primary ways that people raise capital to actually develop the creative process and launch new ideas. To give you an idea, actually, that was one of my favorite campaigns in the world. So if you've seen this before, don't shout. Who knows what this is? This over here. It's one of the most successful crowdfunding campaigns in history.
Oh,
It's what?
I
Do you know about it?
the first crowdfunding one.
Oh, okay. Does anyone else know who doesn't know about what that famous story is, where that comes from? Okay, has anyone heard of a guy called Pulitzer? Pulitzer, yes. Okay. How do you think he's connected to that? So he used to own a newspaper called the New York World. That. The people of France donated as a diplomatic gift the Statue of Liberty. In 1885, the Statue of Liberty was lying in pieces in New York. They donated the statue, but they didn't donate the money for the base of the statue. The base of the statue was going to cost about $6.3 million to build. They didn't have the money. The city of New York didn't have the cash. There was another, I think it was Toronto said, look, if you give us the statue, we'll give you the base. Seemed unfair. So a guy called Pulitzer said, you know what, hang on. This was given us by the people of France. It wasn't by the big state. It was given to us by the tinkers, the tailors, the candlestick makers, the street sweepers, the people. So surely, we as the people of New York and as America should be able to come together to actually donate money to build that base. So he advertised it through his newspaper, the New York World, and over 100,000 people. And these were literally children, these were business owners, these were the people of New York, came together and donated what worked out to be $100,000 at that time, which works out in $6.3 million. It was about a third of the total that still needed to be raised to actually make that base happen. The average donation was under $1. And every day in the New York World, they would publish the names of the people that had donated to make that happen. Now, that is the most beautiful example of democracy in action, where many, many people come together to actually make something happen. And we often talk about crowdfunding as the democratization of financing, where we're moving beyond the space that one rich person, somewhere in here, has the money to say, oh yes, here, I'll give you a check to make it happen. And instead we say, we get to make the world as we would like it. So if there's a product that is going to be created, it's no longer someone prints 100,000 and says, okay, we're going to dictate through Vogue magazine that this is the flavor of the month. Instead, someone puts up something and says, you know what, this is a really cool idea. If you guys agree with me, then if 85 people in this space say, I would like those 4 bars of chocolate, then or I would like that shirt, then you only print 85 of those. So you're reducing waste. We are getting to make the world as we would like it. And from the creative space, we get to realize ideas that sometimes might have been just way out there. So I'll give you just a couple of examples of how this has happened. Okay, firstly, I'll give you a fairly whack example. Has everyone heard of the example of the potato salad? Okay. So, last year on one of the big international platforms overseas, Kickstarter, they raised 5.3 billion rand for over 19,000 different creative ideas. And that's from apps to, you know, to products, to chairs, to, you know, drones, all that kind of stuff. And so one guy came along. He said, you know what? I want to make a potato salad. I'm a student. I don't have the money. I want to make a really nice potato salad. So I'm going to put a campaign up. And I need to raise $60 US. $60 US. I think that's a pretty expensive potato salad. That's like $1,000. But he said, you know what? If you donate $1 US to me, I'll say your name as I stir my potato salad. If you donate $10 US to me, I'll do a little dance as I say your name as I do my potato salad. If you donate $50 US to me, I will slap the potato salad and throw a bit over my shoulder. Something like that. So he went live. Went live for a month. Do you know how much he raised? About $72,000 US. That's a fair amount of money for potato salad. All I can say, and what he did, he was really clever, because with crowdfunding campaigns, it's not a static thing where you put it in a magazine and that's it. As you see campaigns become more successful, so you can actually augment them. So what he did, he said, look, these people are loving this idea, so okay, now, if you do donate $100 US, then I'll actually make a little video of me, like, you know, doing this stuff. If you donate $200, now I'm going to make a little video and you can come and help me make the potato salad. So he went up and up. Creative ideas coming through. It was such a lovely example of a really wacky idea that was realized. And you know what he did then? Is he actually then, to make his potato salad, look, he had to dance around the salad for about 5 days while he said all the names of the various people, and he made a lot of potato salad. But he donated the vast majority of those funds to create the Potato Salad Music Festival in his hometown. So what was lovely about that was he not only created something which he wanted to do, but he also gave something forward because he realized he'd raised a lot more funds than he needed. But that's a kind of quite quirky example. I'll give you another example of a very Cape Town example. Actually, it's a campaign live on Thundafund at the moment. This guy, Caesar, wanted to create a range of books to teach people Zulu. Very straightforward thing. It says, here's my little video, this is what I want to do. I speak Zulu. I think it's very important that actually people learn to speak the various languages of South Africa. And his dream target was 150,000 Rand that he wanted to publish as many books as he possibly could to distribute across the schools and to other people in South Africa. But the minimum he needed is 15,000 Rand. I think we went live about 3 weeks ago. And at the moment, I think he's raised about 173,000 Rand. Now that's flipping cool. This is a guy who needs to write a book. A month ago, he didn't have any money. He could have gone to the bank, and the bank would have said, well, where's your financials? Where's your projections? And again, you know, if you don't have any children, well, then your future children will be on call. 173,000 Rand now. He can get his book published. He can get all the editing done, the final copywriting and so forth, and he's launched a little business. It's fantastic. He's in his 20s. What we're saying here is that you can go from the really, really massive projects down to literally you need to raise 10,000, 20,000, 50,000 Rand. You've got to put it out there, so it's not a matter of just, hey, it's, you know, you put your campaign together and it's just going to happen. One has to be very aware that crowdfunding is about activating a crowd. So it's really important, and maybe I'll just give you a couple of pointers in terms of what makes a successful crowdfunding campaign. Number one, ensure that you build your audience before you go live. So if you think about it, spend as much time as you are running a campaign for preparing for it. So if you're going to have a campaign live for a month or 45 days, spend at least a month beforehand speaking to people about it. I chatted to a girl the other day who raised 116,000 Rand to fund her education. I asked her, well, yeah, what were the 3 most important things? And one, she said, most importantly was ensuring that before she went live, she had a whole group of people who were excited about what they're doing. And she did it through Facebook. She's a really switched on person, this lady. She basically said on Facebook, she didn't ask for anyone to actually back her. She just told them about what she was doing. Then when people said, I love what you're doing, how can we help? She said, fantastic. Emailed them and said, you can really help if you go through, have a look at what I'm doing on my page, and you can help by donating towards my education. And I can give you this back in return in the future. That was what she said the most important thing was ensuring that before you even go live, you've got a network of people supporting you. Then secondly, your video. Yeah, as I said, a picture can tell 1,000 words. A video can tell 10,000 words. People connect with the person. And we've seen it again and again. I'll give you another example. This guy called Lunwaba from Siavulu Gas. He needed 65,000 Rand to get, he delivers gas in the townships. So he needed 65K to buy a bakkie. And so he came to us, and his rewards are really cool. One of his rewards was, I'll give you a tour around the township in my bakkie when I'm delivering gas. I've killed 2 birds with 1 stone. Deliver gas, get extra support to help you lift the gas out. Clever guy. His video was literally, he's standing against a wall, and he's got his iPhone there, and he goes, hi, my name's Lumwaba. I sell gas, and I need a bakkie. And he talks for about a minute and a half. By the end of it, you look at this guy, you're like, you know what? You're really cool. I'd love to get behind you. And it is, people relate to the person behind the creative process. You know, they see what you create, and it's an amazing thing to be able to step through the stage door to actually meet the person. And that's what crowdfunding allows. So that's the second most important thing, is your video. And then the third is connect with your audience on a regular basis. So that is knowing that, because it's a crowdfunding process, and like with anything, if the guys who wanted to open their Honest Chocolate place, if you want to, if you want people to support what you're doing, you have to be open to them speaking to you. So that means whether it's via email, whether it's through Facebook, whether it's even on your phone, you want people to be able to reach you at all times. So guys, that's a kind of window into the world of crowdfunding. So I was saying, it's a new world. Thundafund is South Africa's most successful crowdfunding platform. We've raised now over 8 million Rand for over 200 different new ideas and projects, and that's everything from plays to books to creative products to ranges of clothing. Some really cool stuff. It takes a fair amount of work. It's not easy, but it does allow you to say, look guys, this is what I do, this is who I am. If you like it, get behind me and we can make it happen. Thanks very much.